Yes, as you can see in the title, Kevin Samuels did motivate me to start a legitimate business. Him and Ramil. Shout out to Ramil. He has helped me, man, a lot too, man, with his live stream that he used to do last year. So, Kevin Samuels and Ramil, man, they had a daytime show for men. Man, before he had his women late night show, he had a daytime show for men. He had a daytime show called, man, The Lion's Den, and it was about business. So you will call him, man, you'll come into the show, you'll either pitch a business idea or you'll show him, man, your business that you have, and he'll give advice on it. So I called him because at the time, man, I had a podcast studio that I was trying to get off the ground, man, in my city, his hometown. So, man, I called into the show. I dialed in, man, I got through, and I got on the show. Man, I told them my business, the location, and what it's about. They pulled up the business right there on air, right there on screen. And right there, they both started shredding me to pieces, basically. They were telling me, man, that I didn't have a business, that I didn't have, man, the right licensing, that I didn't have, man, the LLC, and that I didn't have a location. That right there, of course, man, that crushed me because I really thought that I was doing something, but honestly, shit, I wasn't, and that's what I needed. So after that, after I got off the show, I then thought about it. You know, they was right. I don't have my shit together. I don't have a legitimate business. I don't have an LLC for it. I'm just calling it a business. And that's what I needed right there, because after that day, then I got motivated to really, you know, really get serious about business, really get serious about the paperwork, really get serious about the LLC. Man, really get serious about putting that first step in, man, and really doing it, man, and really starting it. So I could have got in my feelings, man, the way that they were talking to me and the way that they were saying it. And you know Kevin Samuels, he's about business, he's stern, and he's straight up. And that's why, and that's how he was talking to us men on that show. Man, I could have got in my feelings and said, you know, F Kevin and F Ramil, man, they don't know what they talking about. You know, just like the women do, man, when he put them in his, just like the women do, man, when he put them in their place. I could have did the same thing, man. I could have got emotional, but I didn't. I said, you know what, man, I got to be accountable. This ain't no business. I need to start, man, a legitimate business. And that day, man, I started my dispensary. I started the paperwork for it, the LLC for it, and I got all the information about all the licensing that I need. And there was a lot of licensing and a lot of codes and shit, man, that you got to go by. So I'm telling you this story because, man, I see a lot of people on the internet bashing Kevin, dogging Kevin. Man, they don't like his message. Man, they don't like how he talking straight up. I could have said the same thing how he was talking to me on the men's show, telling me that I don't have a real business. Well, he liked the idea, him and Ramil. Man, they liked the idea, but I was just half-assing and I wasn't coming correct. And he was pointing that out. Him and Ramil liked it. They seen my website. Man, they went to the website. They said it's a good idea, but it's not a business. And I really thought it was. And I could have took that information, man, and got my feelings, man. And that would have slowed me down because I got the information, took the information, and didn't do nothing with it. No, I got the information and said, yeah, they're exactly right. Man, I'm bullshitting and this ain't right. And then I got right. So what I'm trying to say is right now is just because he comes off stern, just because he comes off hard, just because he comes off just straight up in the truth, don't mean that you don't need to say, take the emotions out of it and say, hey, let me try, man, to see what he's talking about. Let me be open, man, to what he's talking about. So what I'm trying to say is, that day, man, I could have took that information, man, and not applied it, and not took it in, and not be accountable for it. So when he's giving you guys in the ladies' message, mainly the women, man, that get in their emotions, man, and get in their feelings, if you would take the message that he's giving you and the things that he's telling you, if you would apply that, then you'll get better results. Just like I applied it and got better results. You know what I'm saying? Now I got a legitimate business with licensing LLCs, and it's actually a spot. It's a storefront. People come in it, check out, and leave. It's a real business. You know what I'm saying? And I really thought I had a business when I had my podcast studio. Yeah, I had a location, but I didn't have the paperwork. And once I got serious and seen that I need the paperwork for a business, then that's when I got serious. Apply the message. Take the message and take what you can from it. Don't get in your feelings, because I know that he put a lot of y'all in y'all place like an OKC realtor that he is, but still take the message and spit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of truth that he's saying that you can use if you take the emotions out and apply it and say, hey, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe if I did it this way, maybe I'll get better results. Shout out to Ramil. He brought me on his show after he seen that I started a real business and a real dispensary. He brought me on the show and had a 2-hour interview with him. And man, he remembered when I came on the Kevin Samuels show with him too, man, on the Lion's Den. So, man, I've been in this space since 2015. 2020 is when I actually applied all the information that I obtained and learned. And I applied it through business, through the O'Shea shows, man, through the Mr. Research shows, man, through the Kevin Samuels shows, man, through the Ramil shows. You know what I'm saying? These are all shows, man, that help me. Man, the BOA shows, man, the Sinful shows. You know, so this is a great space, and now it's blowing up because people are coming in because we got Kevin Samuels that's representing. Man, they're representing it right. You know what I'm saying? Man, in suits and everything. So now people are coming in and finally hearing the message, and that's why the message is blowing up. But we've been here since 2015 talking about this stuff. It's just finally hitting the surface. And I'm glad that it is. And I'm glad that I called up into that show, because that show motivated me to get my shit together and to get serious. So I appreciate Kevin Samuels and Ramil. Okay, guys, I'm not talking to my regular supporters, so I shouldn't say, man, my favorite line, which is okay, guys. But, man, I am talking to Kevin Samuels fans. So, this is the certificates that I have inside my dispensary. This is a legitimate business. This is, man, a real business. It's not the business that I called in Kevin Samuels and Ramil show. And man, I didn't have the certificate. I didn't have a storefront. I didn't have anything. And this wasn't the business that I presented. It was my podcast studio, which that's my first investment. And I'm still going to get that off the ground with his own storefront. But I was so angry and so mad that they were telling me that I didn't have a legitimate business and a legitimate an LLC, that I thought to myself, what can I put my money in to start where it's a real, man, legitimate business? So I came up with the dispensary. The dispensaries are really hot in my state. It's a good investment if you know what you're doing, if you know people who will support you. So, like I said, I called into the show. I didn't have no certificates. I didn't have anything. And they were checking me, and they was like, hey, man, you don't have nothing. You're just saying that you do. So here we are, guys. These are all the certificates that we need. The license certificate. This is the license permit. This is the health department, which you need to sell the edibles and to sell the chips and stuff. Like we had these edibles, so you need the man, the health department to approve that. So that's approved. We got the most important one, the narcotics and drugs control to sell drugs, to sell the flower. And then we have a city that I am, they have their own license, man, that we got. So if I was to call Kevin Samuels and Ramil's show back again, I would present all of these to them and they can't tell me anything. Like when I didn't have my stuff together, they were able to tell me that stuff because I was coming half-assed. Now I'm not coming half-assed. I took that motivation that he gave me, all that talking stern and talking to me like I'm nothing. I could have took that right there and got in my feelings, and I could have not started this. I could have not took that information and bettered myself. So the moral of the story is, take the information that he's giving you, ladies, and see where you can apply it in your life and see will it help you, and see if he's just talking or if he's not. But if you keep on doing the same thing, which I could have just said, okay, they don't know what they're talking about, I know it all, which I don't, which you got to have a come to the understanding that you don't know it all, and then you can write down a plan and go get that plan. But you got to be strong and you got to know how to take advice. Even if it's strong advice or light advice, however it comes, take what you need and, spit the rest. Kevin Samuels did help me start a legitimate business in both of our hometown, which is Oklahoma City. We are Oklahoma City players, and I appreciate Kevin Samuels for one, starting off with working with the man, seeing that the man needed help and seeing that they wasn't serious. So that's when he went on to the women's show and he has blown up. He's a millionaire and he deserves all the stuff that's coming to him because he put the time in before he blew up. He put the time in with men working on the show daily. You seen those old shows where he's telling men that they don't have a big enough junk and stuff like that. So he was putting the work in and then it finally came, which I'm going to put the work in and it will come to me and I know it will. So you can take the advice in the Black Manosphere, man, for what it is. I know that it's hard. I know that they're cutthroat. They don't care about feelings. They will let you know how they feel and they will let you know how men feel. And as men, man, we got to take advice and take that advice, man, and do something with it instead of just getting in our feelings, man, like a woman. So you can take the advice or you can't, but I'm showing you that he is here to help people. And Ramil, I guess he's off, man, on YouTube, but his show was most definitely, man, some good information, man, to better your life, which I took a lot of stuff and used. So I appreciate the early days of the Manosphere, man, before all the money got involved, man, before Kevin Samuels brought the whole world inside now. So I did start one.